right, so I ordered some Goldfinch whistles, a full set of Goldfinch whistles a while back, and after playing the almost full set, after playing the A flat for a bit, they made me an A flat, and it it's good except for the bottom note tends to get gravelly and kind of drop out a little bit. And I played it a little bit to see if maybe there was issues with it being warmed up first, and I just couldn't get it to be as solid as I needed. Um, and so I contacted Goldfinch Whistles, and so they made me another one. So those it recently arrived, and also they gave me a really good deal on a Low C whistle. So you can see they made it a three-piece design. I don't know if that's easier for them uh, or what, but I can take it apart here if I need to. But I figured I'd show you what I got. So this is the original A flat that I got. You can see it here, it's starting to get a little gravelly. And you hear it. So it's inconsistent, and I just can't figure out exactly what's going on. I think it has something to do with how the moisture beads on the wind wave. But again, I talked to them about it, and I can understand why they sent it out, and I can understand. Like I said, when I got it, it played all right. I was outside, and I ran through it, and I thought, oh, this is good. I like it. But it just has that, like, it just pops up every once in a while. I've tried coating the windway with um, uh, like rinse aid, and I've tried a few other things, and I just couldn't get it to consistently have a strong bell note. So this one, and the bell note is all fingers down, the lowest note. So except for that low note, it was really good. So now they've sent me this one. So you can hear the no graveliness. This one's a lot more like my G, which I really like. One of my favorite from the Goldfinch set, especially the altos. Um, just a very smooth, round, full tone. It's a little heavier than the heavier in tone than the original. which I kind of like the lightness of the tone of the original, but if I can't get that strong, consistent bottom note, then I'd rather have it be. Um, then I would definitely prefer this from a functional standpoint. So another great whistle. So that's so far I believe that's my only A flat that I have, other than I have a Nick Metcalf. It's an aluminum one, but here is the C whistle. And this one actually surprised me. When I ordered the whistle set, I only went down to the low D because I saw that they all from low F down to the low C, they all use the same tube size, the same CPVC size. They all have the same bore width, and I thought that C is probably going to be pretty touchy, and it'll break too easily on the low end, and so I just didn't bother. And when they offered me a deal on the C, I thought, okay, I'll try it. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised. This one, it isn't any touchier, I don't think, than the D. So whatever modifications they made to it, it seems to have worked well. And I think it ends up being kind of complementary to my Alba C, which is my go-to C whistle, which has a very wild, breathy, full tone, and these are a more refined, purer tone. So here's the C. So not super loud, but it's got again a nice, just clean tone to it. So here's the Alba. You can hear this is a wider bore. It's kind of hard to see, but let me side by side like that. You can maybe able to tell that the Alba is wider, significantly. I guess this would have to be a wild Scottish whistle, but it's got a wider bore, and the Alba is this is the same tubing size for the bass whistle. So all of the bass, B flat, B flat, and A, and maybe the G, all share this bore size. So this is pretty wide bore for a C, but it's one of the reasons I like it. But it's those last couple of notes on there are harder to achieve because it's a wide bore. But again, those are not typical notes that you'd use on a whistle. But and I'm not sure what the status is of Alba whistles at the moment. Last I checked, they were Stacy O'Gorman had closed down for the pandemic, and she has yet to reopen. And I'm not sure she's going to, but she may have retired. But you can check Alba whistles if you're interested. Let me know. And this C is, again, I think if you're looking for like a quiet, pure. It doesn't take much breath. The Goldfinch whistles are all of them have been very air efficient. Some of the most air efficient whistles I've ever played. So very this one in particular is very soft breath. It's stable, which that's the important thing. Just let me check. So, finger stretch. People ask me about that. Finger stretch looks fairly comparable to the Alba. Alba actually looks like it's a little bit longer on there, so that's nice. Let me see the. Here's the D. The D Goldfinch. I'm pointing those the wrong way. So the D is actually, it looks, yeah, the C is just a little bit further, but not a whole lot. Here's the C on this side. So, but again, I think that the stretch on these, here's my chieftain. The stretch on the Goldfinch is a little bit further on the low Ds than most of the other low D whistles. Again, Piper's grip, you can shift your grip a little bit further to achieve that. So here's the low D, just for comparison. So again, a little bit quieter, a little bit mellower, which is pretty typical, especially if they're going to share the same bore size. Um, that the narrower you go, typically the quieter the whistle is. Gets a little bit sweeter in the second octave, a little bit softer, a little bit more delicate on the bottom end. But again, I think that it's a well balanced whistle, and I'm pleased with it. So if you're worried about purchasing a Goldfinch whistle, if you're not happy with it, from my personal experience and from what I've heard from other people, they do a fantastic job of taking care of their customers. So if you don't like the way that your whistle plays, you've got an issue with it, they'll exchange it for you, and it does take a while. I think it's been a few months, and I think that Jacob's dad got sick for a while, and so it kind of slowed down the production. But if you're patient, you will get you'll get your whistle. So I hope that's helpful. I'm pleased now. I think right now I have they said the most complete set of Goldfinch whistles of anyone ever. So I have every key from E flat, both the airy tail and the standard Goldfinch whistles, or Goldfinch D whistles. I've got the Middle Eastern, I forget what it's called, the Middle Eastern scale whistle, and then everything from A flat. I've got A flat, F sharp, and I'm very pleased. I think they're just a really solid. They make some really solid whistles, and they have some really nice attention to detail. So I highly recommend them. Still really well priced, and just a nice bang for your buck. So hope that's helpful.